Hello and welcome to Caucasian Journal video interviews. Our today's special guest is Professor Andreas THEOPHANOUS. He's the president of the Cyprus Center of European and International Affairs at the University of Nicosia in Cyprus. Welcome to Caucasian Journal. We're very glad to see you.
Thank you very much.
My first question is about the Cyprus path to the European Union. In 2004, Cyprus managed to become the member of European Union despite its unresolved division of the island. What are the key factors that made that possible, and what lessons might Georgia draw from this experience?
I would say that each case is unique and different. In the case of Cyprus, you had a strong cooperation between the government of Cyprus and government of Cyprus and of Greece at the time. They worked together, and Cyprus became a member in 2004 together with other 9 countries. It was not a separate application. And various external forces thought that it would be wise if Cyprus became a member as well. I mean, it was not that Greece would have vetoed the whole thing, but there were expectations that the accession of the Republic of Cyprus to the European Union would contribute to the implementation and satisfaction of other objectives as well. Now, the European Union today is different from the European Union of 2004. I understand that Georgia would like to see the accession process continue. This comes at a very difficult period in the international arena, with the European Union having its own problems, with a war taking place between Russia and Ukraine, and attempts made to deal with that. So it is different and difficult. I would also say that if the decision is made for the European Union to proceed with further enlargement of other countries as well, in which case there would be several countries becoming members simultaneously, that is a different issue, and you would see what interest it could satisfy. I would also suggest that while accession remains an objective for Georgia, it is important for the country to advance its relation with the European Union to the highest possible level in the meantime. But at the same time, what I would suggest is not to have high expectations. You have to understand the realities, both of the region, the neighborhood, as well as the European Union. It requires a very balanced approach.
My next question is the EU and the unresolved conflict. How has the European Union treated Cyprus as a member state with its de facto divided territory? In practice, how does EU membership help to address the Cyprus problem? Could similar dynamics apply to Georgia with its unresolved conflicts in Abkhazia and South Ossetia?
Cyprus had higher expectations from the European Union. The northern part of Cyprus is occupied by Turkey. Yet Turkey has all kinds of relations with the European Union without any obstacles. I mean, on many occasions, Turkey imposes its will. For example, while European Union has recently appointed the special representative on Cyprus question, Turkey is not happy to see that special representative in negotiations under the auspices of the United Nations. So, I mean, like it's like the glass being half empty and half full. We had higher expectations that they were not fulfilled, but on the other hand, being a member of the union is much better than being outside. I want to be very clear about it. And now, in relation to your case, I think it's even more difficult in the sense that Turkey is perceived to be a power that cooperates with the European Union. Sometimes many would perceive it as a strategic partner. But in the case of Georgia, with its problems there, you have the antagonism between the European Union and Russia, which makes that even much worse. And in our case, we're always being asked to negotiate. I mean, like with the Turkish Cypriot community, Turkey would not negotiate with us directly. In the case true, the Georgian case, I do not see any other way other than the role of diplomacy. And usually, in order to get results, in addition to engaging on the issues per se, there must be broader interests that could be served by a kind of a particular deal or an agreement.
Mhm. Well, you have partly answered my next question, which was supposed to be about relations with Turkey. To what extent has EU membership strengthened the Cyprus position in managing the relationship with Turkey? Do you see any useful parallels, of course, for Georgia's relations with its powerful northern neighbor, Russia?
Again, I would repeat that each case is different. Cyprus is a member of the Union. Georgia is not a member of the Union. Now, in the case of Cyprus, we had higher expectations that they were not met. Okay, that is one issue. For example, when Russia invaded Ukraine, you had all kinds of sanctions on Russia. In the case of Turkey, there are no sanctions. On the contrary, there are many financial protocols and all that.
Hmm.
So it has not been easy in our case either. I mean, like you need sophistication, trying to convince partners, and in order to move forward with the Cyprus problem, to have any progress in the Cyprus problem, you need a positive stance by Turkey. If Turkey were to get something from the Union, it may consider making a particular move. I would say that after 1974, there were many ideas and plans for solving the Cyprus problem, but in the perception of most Cypriots, most of those ideas and most of those, all of those ideas and all of those plans did not improve the status quo on the ground for Cyprus. That's why they were not accepted. So it is a difficult case. It is a difficult issue, which requires sophistication and diplomacy. But again, because you try to draw parallels, I would say that each case, it has its own characteristics. And I don't think that the European Union can resolve the Georgian issues there. I mean, that may require also negotiations with Russia. I mean, it cannot be otherwise. We would be happy to negotiate with Turkey, by the way, directly. But Turkey refuses to do that because it does not recognize the Republic of Cyprus.
Theo, you see joining European Union as an advantage in any case.
Yes, absolutely. It's better to be in rather than on outside. Until Georgia becomes a member of the Union, it's better to enhance those relations. Yes.
I see. And how do you see the current situation in Cyprus vis-à-vis Turkey? Do you see any perspective? I mean, in the short time perspective, any progress, or is it more or less frozen?
Turkey does not recognize the Republic of Cyprus. Turkey's objective is to have the entire island under its strategic control. There are many occasions in which Turkey engages in hybrid warfare against us. And it's a difficult case. I mean, like, our problem is not well known in the European Union, in many countries, for various reasons. Perhaps we did not do our homework very well in order to explain not only to governments and parliaments, but to societies, universities, mass media, and all that. We should have done better. But at the same time, one must, cannot forget that Turkey is a big country, strong country, and many countries have a vested interest with Turkey. And each country sees its interests. I mean, like, international relations and relations between countries do not only revolve around international law. It's realpolitik. Being a member does not cover you 100% because the European Union does not have a full-fledged common foreign security policy. It does not have. And also, when we talk about the European Union foreign policy, at the end of the day, you must see the interests of states, which are not identical. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
For example, I find it unlikely that Germany would put sanctions to Turkey for Cyprus. So these are certain issues that they must be taken into consideration. In the next few days, I will present my new book in Cyprus, What Really Happened in Cyprus, from 1960 to today and the way forward. And it's a book in English, which talks about the history and the politics of Cyprus, as well as the role of foreign powers. And I'm talking about the guarantor powers, which was Greece, Turkey, Britain, the Security Council, the Permanent Security Council members, United States, Soviet Union, Russian Federation, China, France, England. And then we also see the role of the European Union, of United Nations, and so on. Okay. And just for our today's meeting, what I would say is the following. In my thinking and suggestions for policies, what I'm saying is the following. I start from the very basic. Make sure that the situation does not become worse. That's number one. That's a minimum objective. And maximum objective is to try to come with a plan which improves the status quo. So it's very important to keep this in mind, the realpolitik, and to have a minimum and a maximum objective. And that's always the case. And the other thing both Cyprus and Georgia cannot forget. Geography, it's a factor in international politics, and we cannot change our geography. And that's it.
National minorities. Cyprus, like Georgia, has its own challenges in managing national minorities. How has EU membership influenced, if it influenced, Cyprus policies towards minority rights? And do you see this as a supportive or a constraining factor in conflict resolution?
That's a very complex question, but again, each country has its own case. I mean, like in the case of Cyprus, I mean, since 1974, the vast majority of Turkish Cypriots live in the occupied sector. Cyprus does not exercise control. Nevertheless, Turkish Cypriots are treated fairly and very well by the Republic of Cyprus in the sense that they are given an identity card. So they can travel freely in Europe. Okay? And the other issue is that Cyprus has attracted many people from various countries in the sense that Cyprus for many years has been the country with the highest per capita applications for, how do you call it? Asylum seekers, people from third countries that they come here. Of course, European Union legislation has affected, the way of doing things. Yeah, and Cyprus is a unique case where almost 40% is occupied. And then at the same time, being in the geography where it is, and in the region you have many immigrants, economic immigrants, and also people who have a problem in their own country politically. But on the other hand, Cyprus is too small and cannot solve the problems of the region. I mean, like, there is a limit to what it can take. But if the answer is, okay, to this is that the European legal framework has affected issues very much, yes. There is no doubt about it. In this regard, we want to have more support from the European Union in dealing with these issues.
Speaking from your experience as a seasoned political scientist, as an expert, which lessons are more relevant to our region in your view?
I think it's very important to understand the rules of the game. Before we became a member of the European Union, in Cyprus, there were very high expectations that the Union would solve all the problems. That was not true. As a matter of fact, we felt that we did not have the solidarity we should have had in relation to Turkey, but also when we had the economic crisis, we were not treated very well. The memorandum given to us, it was extremely harsh, very harsh. On the other hand, it's important to utilize the European Union. It's an art, it's a knowledge to do it. And that we should improve in that direction. We must become more sophisticated. Okay?
Excellent.
Thank you, and we should talk again.
Thank you very much, and for your very insightful answers, and congratulations with your new book, and I hope we shall see you again.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you very much.
We cover what matters. Caucasian Journal.